All right, welcome back to A Dash of Life on Wednesday night, your favorite Wednesday night talk show. Uh, Thank you everyone for coming out and watching the show tonight. Uh, Man, we got a great month coming up. The end of the month is here, but next month we got a great month lined up. I've got some great guests, but I'm going to keep those a secret for now. But some of them I haven't talked to in a long time, so we're going to be talking to some wonderful people. Tonight, though, there will be no guest. It's just you're stuck with good old Dash, and it's going to be fun. We're going to talk a little bit about OU football, OU and Texas football, the thing that's going on with that. But first, I want to thank everybody that's been a subscriber to the Dash of Life channel on YouTube. If you're not, go check it out. We've got past episodes. I'm still uploading. Living out here in the sticks, I've got really crappy internet connection, so I'm doing the best I can to get things loaded every day or every other day, so as not to stress out my Wi-Fi. But thank you. We're currently sitting at 24 subscribers, so I've got something that's going on. So if you're a subscriber, if you subscribe, the 50 we get up to 50 subscribers, I'll take a drawing. I've got a $50 gift card to Amazon. So if you subscribe to the channel, I'll do a drawing when we hit 50 for a $50 gift card to Amazon. So go check it out. YouTube, A Dash of Life. We've got wonderful people out there. I've got some Angels, some of his episodes loaded, but I'm still working, like I said, trying to get some things loaded up. So hopefully within the next couple of weeks, we'll have all the past episodes. But like I said, so tonight we're going to talk about the big news over the last week. Whether you love them, whether you hate them, I think it's going to happen, guys. OU and Texas are probably moving to the SEC. We'll probably find out tomorrow, as I'm sure they're going to hold the vote. But you got to think about it. It's been in the works for 6 months, folks. It's probably already a done deal, and I think they're just playing the game now, just to following the rules, going down the steps. But I'd like to know what you guys think about that. Me personally, I think it's a good thing to finally move. The Big 12 has been dead since 2011, since what A&M and Mizzou left. It just hasn't been the Big 12. That's, of course, my opinion. Other people might think different. I've seen people getting upset over this. I've seen people just ready to just blow up, and I get it. I mean, I understand. I mean, I get it, but I understand, I guess I should say. It's time to move on. That's the way the business is, and let's call it what it is, folks. It is a business. If you're not happy at your job, or you've done everything you can at your job, do you want to move on? Is there a chance for you to better yourself? Would you want to move on? That's the question I'm asking. Feel free to answer that. Put your make your comments or whatever. But I mean, I think it's time. OU's won the last six Big 12 championships, so it's kind of time to move on. And okay, we got something here from Chris. Honestly, don't think they will actually leave. I think Big 12 cave and give them more money, which railroads. Chris, that's it's possible. It really is possible. But how fair is that to the other teams? If they give OU and Texas more money, how is that fair to OSU, to Iowa State, to Baylor, to TCU? How is that fair to them if they cave in? I think at that point, Iowa State gets mad and leaves, and they want to leave, and it takes it down the road to going to the Big Ten. I mean, I see your point, but I don't. I think it's a done deal. Again, Hoop's opinion, Dash's opinion, speculation. But I think it's a done deal. OU and Texas don't care. Probably. I don't know if they don't care. I think it's more along the lines that it's been coming a long time. They want OU, OSU, Texas. They all wanted to leave 2011, and I think this was just finally the domino that sent them all down. If you catch my drift, but I understand. Is it what is the hatred though? Is it because we're leaving people behind? Is it because you just afraid of the unknown? Is it you don't know where you're going? Is that the case? I mean, I get it. I just don't see what the hate. I mean, I get OU and Texas have been rivalries or rivals for however long, but at some point in a business, you got to move on. Whether it's for more money, which I think it's a money grab, but let's face it, the new NIL is out. The name, image, likeness contracts are out. People are making money. Is the Big 12 going to draw in that? Are people going to want to go to the Big 12 for their name, image, likeness, and make money? Is that what caused all this? Those are the questions I want to know. Was it NIL that caused OU and Texas to leave? But if it was back 6 months, who knows? I mean, I think it has a lot to do with the contracts that they had with Fox. OU's tired of playing at 11 o'clock in the a.m., 11 o'clock a.m. The kickoffs are bad. They want to play night games. They have a better chance to do that in the SEC. So I want to hear your opinions. I want to shout out to my daughter. She said hi. Rennie said hi, Daddy-O. Hi, Rennie. As an OSU fan, I hope we move to another conference. I'm looking forward to a new competition. I couldn't agree with you more, Chris. I give OSU fans a hard time, but we are in the state of Oklahoma. I don't really dislike OSU other than when it comes time to Bedlam. But maybe it is. Maybe it is a time for them to move on and face the... I don't see Bedlam going away. I mean, Georgia Tech play each other every year. Florida State play each other every year. I don't see Bedlam going away. It'll just be a non-conference game now instead of a conference game. Somebody brought up a good point the other day. Let's say the Big 12 does stay together. It's a chance now that OSU and OU play each other in a national championship game. I get it. You got to go through Alabama. You got to go through Auburn. You got to go through Florida. You got to go through LSU. The SEC is a tough, crucible to go through. And I think, I think it's the best thing for them. OSU can move on. Maybe they stay in the Big 12. Maybe they pull some teams in. I don't know. Maybe OSU goes to the Big 10. Maybe they go to the Pac-12. Unknown. But the chances of OSU and OU playing in a national championship game, how awesome would that be? I'm trying to find the brighter side to things, if you will. As far as Texas goes, I mean, I'm not a Texas fan per se, but I think they're making the move just as OU is making the move. They want to do what's best for their kids. They want to get recruiting. They want to bring people in. And yeah, I get, maybe first couple of years, first 5-6 years, they may be middle of the pack. I don't know. There's nobody that can say that. I mean, SEC says one thing, the Big 12 says one thing, the fans say another thing. But we never know. I mean, this, we just don't know what's going to happen. It's possible that OU gets in there, Texas gets in there, and they compete right away. Depends on how they make the lineup. And that's kind of what I'm going on, Chris. I do kind of wonder how. That's what we're talking about. I don't know if they'll be the big dogs. They may. It depends on if they split up the conferences. So one side where Bama and them move over to the East, OU Texas come into the West. It could be OU and Texas and LSU every year. You never know. I don't think OU and Texas expect to be the big dogs going in right away. Maybe they do. Like I said, I know it's a gauntlet, man. It's a huge gauntlet that they got to run through. There are the Georgias, the Bamas, the Auburns. I get it. The competition is going to be tough. And I look at it this way, and again, it's nothing against OSU or Texas Tech, Baylor, any of them schools. They're great. But at some point, you got to think, man, we got to move on. We got to find, and you said it yourself, Chris. We got to go on to find better competition. And OU winning the last 6 years, maybe it's time. Maybe it is time for them to go over there and get their butts whooped, and to find out what it's like, and then build themselves up. Texas needs to get their butts whooped to get themselves back up. I don't know. I am happy. I'm just one fan though. I don't know if everybody else is happy. I'm happy they're making the move over. I look forward to seeing Alabama, Florida, LSU come into Norman. I want to see that. Maybe this cuts out on all the. I'm just going to say it, the lower rated schools that they play. Maybe this cuts down on Alabama playing the Citadel. Maybe this cuts out on them, and now they actually have to play games and actually fight for this. Is this part of the whole new playoff thing that they're bringing in? Maybe the 12 playoffs. With 12 teams, now you don't have to win a conference championship per se. You just got to be the top 12 and get in, correct? I mean, that's the way I see it. That's the way I'm reading it. Yeah, they're going to take the top 5, if there is 5 conferences from here on out. We don't know. Maybe it shoots to 4 super conferences. I don't know. We just, you got to kind of let it just play out. But again, like I said, I am absolutely 100% happy that OU is moving to the SEC. I want to play the Alabamas. I want to play the Georgias. And if we get beat, I'm just like any other fan. I'm probably going to be mad. You can ask my wife if you ever see her. Every OU game that I'm here watching on TV, I probably won't sit down the entire game. I don't care if it's even halftime. I'm pacing back and forth because the game is, it just hasn't been OU since when I grew up in the 80s, when I knew that like 99% of the time when the team came out, we were going to destroy them, hang half 100. These are different times. The kids want to go places, and now, like I said, with the name, image, likeness, this is going to change the landscape of football, period. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down here real quick. Steve, hopefully the defense can recruit better, having the SEC as a better bargaining chip. Man, good point. It's possible. Now you got kids that are be closer to home. I think, you're moving into some territories where kids want to play, and now they want to play at OU because they're going to be playing against some of the better teams. And maybe they'll be like, oh, that's a good point. I wish I was more of like the scouting and knew all that good stuff. There's like the guys on the Sports Animal and all that. But that's a good point. It probably is a better bargaining chip. I'd love to get some good. We stepped it up last year and for the defense, so maybe this is the right step that we're going in. Thomas says, as a Sooner fan, I'm excited, a little worried about what this means for my school and others like it. But on the outside, let's see if I can get more. On the outside, looking in, anxious times. I get it. Yeah, Tom, I know you work out there, BYU. It is scary, and I don't know. I figure if they move to, again, opinion stated, I figure if they move to super conferences, BYU is probably a shoe-in for the Pac-12, if I was to guess, or whatever the Pac decides to do. I'm pretty sure that they're a shoe-in, and you've got a shot in a conference. Again, my opinion. I don't know where this thing goes, but I foresee 4, 5, maybe 5 conferences of 16 teams, 5 conferences of 20 teams. I don't know. The ACC is not going to die out and go to and get sucked up. So I think they have a legit shot that they want to stay and probably bring Notre Dame in and teams like that. I think it's exciting times, and I know and anxious as well, like you said. But I think it's a great move. I never thought they would leave without OSU. I would never ever think that they would leave without OSU. So, but they did. But I think that gives OSU a chance to go out on their own. And let's be frank. They're great in other sports. I get it. This is not just all about football. But when it comes to SEC, that's what it's about. It's about football. It's about what they can do. And maybe they just didn't think that OSU was what they wanted in their conference. I don't know. Chris says, I'd laugh if OU Texas went to SEC and Mizzou and A&M come back to the Big 12. I don't know. I don't think Mizzou and A&M leave. I don't think they leave. I think they're going to, as somebody posted earlier, they're going to toe the line. And just like my buddy Ross just said, it's about money, and you're going to get a lot of money to stay in the or in the SEC. You're going to get a lot of money. It's going to go from something from 50,000 to 70,000. I think I read from each school. That's a lot of money to pass up on to go back to the Big 12 to get a smaller piece of the pie. I doubt it. A&M changed their tune last week. You know, there's a lot to talk about, and there's more to come. I know this is just the tip of the iceberg, but like I said, this has been going for 6 months or more. I can't believe that the SEC didn't already know that they wanted this. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't have any facts on this. So don't holler at me later if something, this is my opinion, but I honestly think the SEC had already been in contact. They're just playing the game. You know, they got to say what they got to say to not, you know, keep it legal, if you will. And that brings me to my next point. I think this is probably the last year for the Big 12. I think this is the last year for OU and Texas in the Big 12. I think they do the buyout. I think they already have that. It's been predetermined. Tomorrow's vote is just a formality. Ross says after 1 July and the paying of players, the SEC is just NFL South minor league. Man, do I agree with that. You're correct. I've seen some, you know, maybe that's where that's why OU and Texas want to leave. We all know it. We all see it every draft day. Majority of the players come out of the SEC, and maybe that's what OU and Texas want. They want that money. And I hate to say, man, money is, like we said, money. But at the end of the day, the NCAA right now is a business, and it's about getting that money. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it on live TV or whatever I need to do. But this is all about money, and it's uncertain times on where these teams are going to go. I get it, but at the end of the day, like I said, it's a business, and these teams are going to do what they need to do to build those teams up. It's going to pay for those sports. It's going to pay for those sports that don't get anything, or they don't bring in the draws. It's going to pay for more than gymnastics. It's going to pay for those baseball diamonds and building up better and better buildings and facilities for those other sports that frankly just don't bring in a whole lot of revenue. That's what these SEC football teams do for their schools. That's what any of these schools do for their schools. You know, football teams do for their schools. So, yeah, there you go. Underwater basket weaving. It's a good deal all around. I think it's a smart business move for OU. I think it's a smart business move for Texas. And unfortunately, some schools got left out. But that doesn't mean they're going to be left out. The Pac-12, the Big Ten, or whatever, they're going to reach out to these schools. They're going to reach out. They're going to go the way of the super conference. And again, my opinion, it's something I've been thinking about for a while. They may want to get rid of the NCAA and just be the College Football Association, kind of like the NFL. I mean, I could really see that doing it. I'm not sure if, you know, the NCAA is what they want to fall under anymore. SEC will trade Vandy for OSU. That's a good one. I don't know, man, but it's at the end of the day, this is already a done deal, and I know people are upset about it. But if you've got any comments, feel free to throw them out there. I've been talking and rambling long enough. So if let me know how you feel about this. Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you ready for this? He said, oh please, flying spaghetti monster, do not let OSU go to the Pac-12. I can't handle 9 p.m. kickoffs. I'm sorry. That's why I think the Big 12, or excuse me, the Pac-12 is probably off limits for OSU. I don't know. Personally, I don't know if Big 10 is a landing spot for them either. ACC probably, but then you're looking at some weird kickoff times there too. Will regulation happen? Uh, Man, that's a good question, Ross. I don't know. I can't even begin to speculate on that one. That's something uh, I need to look up into. Cleveland sucks. Bring up FS. Well, I don't. Come on, Cleveland doesn't suck that bad. But of course I'm going to be a Baker homie and show my bromance for Baker. So I'm rooting for Cleveland all the way. Even though I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm rooting for Cleveland just because of Baker. But y'all can hate me for that later or make fun of me. But I mean, I want to see. Yeah, just like just like the Premier League. Yeah, I've even seen that written somewhere. And that's been in talks before. Has that not? I know you run your sports show, and you've probably mentioned that and seen that written. But that's where they kind of go up and go down if they're not performing. Am I reading into that right, Ross? Is that what I'm talking about? If they perform a certain way, they move up. If they perform a certain way, they move down. I think I've seen that written somewhere. So that could be. I don't know, man. That's something to think about. But there's so many things, and again, so many speculations. I know. I mean, we went from last Tuesday hearing about this saying it's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. To we're definitely it's going to happen. I mean, that's basically what I'm getting at. And my son just said I'm doing a good job, so thank you, Solon. I appreciate you. This is a kind of a first for me, kind of talking about sports and being on live. So it's thank you for saying that. You make my heart swell, son. Yeah, you lose the minor teams, move up. I mean, yeah. What man? Wouldn't that be awesome? Man, that could be a whole nother show to talk about all that, but. The huge money, the TV money, and free. How? I mean, is that where we're going with name, image, likeness? I don't know, man. You got an Alabama kid already talking about making $1 million, and he hasn't even set foot on the football. He hasn't even started a game. Hasn't even been through all of his practices, and they're talking about $1 million, making $1 million off something. It's a different time, and we got to keep up with it. It's changing. I mean, like I told my wife and my son, they weren't understanding this, and I'm like, conferences come and go. Conferences come and go every year or years. They'll stick around for 5 or 6 years, but they change, and that's what we're going to see. In school, who cares about education? I don't know. Let me ask you this: is the NIL? Is it bad? Did it hurt? Did it hurt the schools? Is this what we're going to have to deal with? Let me ask you that: is the NIL going to hurt in the long run these kids? My opinion, I personally think. And I'm probably going to get, yelled at and get mad at me about this, but I think the NIL is a good thing for these kids. I think they deserve it. I mean, it's a job, and I get it. They're going to school. They got their school paid for, but is it really? They get enough to get by, and they need money. Do they need $1 million contracts? I don't know. I don't know, but I certainly agree with it. And you're right. I say let them make money too. I agree. And like I said, these kids deserve it. They're hardworking. They go out there. They put their butts on the line. Maybe that makes the playoffs better. Maybe that makes the bowl games better. Maybe they don't sit out the bowl games, and I don't have to hear, well, so and so set out. That's why you can't. That's why you beat so-and-so because they just felt like they didn't want to play because it wasn't the playoffs. That's a tired excuse. I'm tired of it. Maybe this is what it is. And, good, salary cap. Yeah, I see that in the future. I absolutely see that 5, 10 years down the road, a salary cap. I absolutely see that. But does that make them professionals? Here's the question we got to ask: does that make them professionals because they're making this amount of money? And then if we have to have a salary cap, that's the question I've been asking myself since this NIL came out. Do we go from being collegiate athletes to are we professional athletes now in a minor league, like you said, Ross, in a minor league uh, capacity? That's a good question. There's so many things that um, I ask myself every day. Listen. I'm a huge sports fan. I'm a diehard Sooner. If you don't know that by now, you haven't been paying attention. But um, the it's time. These kids have done a lot and they need it. Yeah. How long? Good question. Christopher asks, I wonder how long it will take till a player sues the school or the coach who maybe benches them for interference in their uh, this is why interference in their money making business. Man, that's a good question. Um, yeah, they've been getting paid before. I get that. Yeah, but back to Christopher's question. Maybe that's something in the NIL. I don't know. I haven't read all about that, and I haven't seen the full. And I probably will never. I'm just Dash down here in Guthrie, Oklahoma, sitting on Facebook Live doing a show. So I'd probably never be privy to the NIL, um, contracts and things like that. But it's possible, or it's written in that they can't do anything. But let's think about it. The kids that are actually going to be making the money, are you really going to bench them? I don't know. You got Spencer Sanders, and Spencer Rattler, and Oklahoma. You got all the Spencers playing quarterback. So I don't know. These kids, I guess we're gonna see if it happens, and then we just deal with it from there. But I get it. I mean, has any professional player sued a coach because I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see it. We'll see what happens. But it's this is the stuff that I like to talk about, um, and it makes for a good conversation. So, any other questions? I mean, where would you like to go, Chris? I mean, you're OSU. You're my buddy. You're an OSU fan. I know that. Where do you want to go? If you had a choice, if Chris had a choice, he could go to any conference. Where would it be? And then I've got Ross, who's I know he's SEC all the way. I mean, aren't you excited to get to see OU Tennessee every year, or OU Alabama, or OU Texas? I mean, those are some of the matchups I want to see ever since all this expansion stuff started. So Big Ten, yeah, SEC is yeah, rest. I mean, Big Ten, absolutely. I mean, Big Ten is a. I mean, Big Ten is probably the best, but I know there's the AAU out there for them, so that might hinder the Big Ten. Uh, but I maybe they changed the rules. I mean, I know they changed it for Nebraska. Maybe they'll change it for Oklahoma State. I don't know. Yes, there are some games that are snooze. I get Vandy, but I don't know. I'm ready for it. I mean, I think and this again, I don't know how the SEC runs, but I mean, and this will be new to me, but I got to think that Georgia coming into Norman, Bama coming into Norman, Florida, LSU, you name it, even Vandy coming into Oklahoma is going to raise a lot more money. Coming into Norman, coming into this, I mean, I know the SEC travels well. And I just can't, I think that's going to be great for the city of Norman. I think it's going to be great for the state of Oklahoma. If Oklahoma State goes to the Big Ten, Ohio State coming down, Nebraska coming back down, I think that's good for the state of Oklahoma. It's to me, it's a win, 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 win all the way through. And again, just hoops opinion. I'm not a sports uh, I'm not a sports writer. I'm not a sports expert, but this is just the Hoop's opinion. But I think, uh, I just think this is the you know, a win-win-win all the way around. Vandy needed a female kicker to make TV. Yeah, they may need some gimmicks, but um, it's a good time to be a football fan. I think all the way around, and I think, and I will say this. I will say this before I close out the show. I will say this. I think OU and Texas need to watch their butt this year. There's going to be some very, and excuse my language, there's going to be some very pissed off football teams out there. And they're going to gun. And they're going to go hard. They're going to hurt. So OU and Texas need to watch it because they're going to try to take them down and humble them. And I get it. I mean, I totally get it. And deservedly so. Deservedly so. I mean, I felt the same way when a little bit when Texas A&M and Missouri left. But they did what was best for, and at the end of the day, they did what was best for their schools, and I want every school to do what's best for them. So that's my take on it. Feel free to add any comments after I turn off tonight, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot. But like I said, remember I've got my YouTube channel. I'm gonna plug it every day if I have to, but I got a YouTube channel, A Dash of Life, where all my older shows are up. This one will be up tomorrow. So if you missed it live, you can always check it out again on tomorrow on YouTube. But I couldn't do this without you guys coming in. Man, what a great show tonight. Everybody giving me their comments, their questions. Loved it. There's going to be new shows coming in on the Dash of Life channel. We did a poll the other day for a Dasher Treasure. I'm excited to say we got some shows that I'm going to be working on, so you'll be seeing that coming in soon. Dash or Treasure, where we go out, we look for some funny things, and we ask, dash it or treasure it. Do we, maybe we'll get a contest in there where I have to actually buy the actual thing that we treasure or something. So something out there, and we'll probably mix it up with a little bit of things that I'm looking for in my collection. As you can see behind me, I have collections of everything, so I'm always on the lookout. So, but like I said, if you go out, go to the Dash of Life on YouTube, subscribe. If I get to 50 subscribers, we'll do a drawing for a $50 gift card to Amazon. So go out there, tell your friends about Dash of Life. All the old shows are on there. I'm uploading every day. But go subscribe, like it, like the shows that you watch, and if there's anything that you would like to see, a Dash of Smack Talk versus, there you go. A Dash or Smash, or Smack Talk. I like that. Good job, Chris. Maybe that's something we can do this year. Me and you do a show, Bedlam. Let's mark it down on the calendar. Bedlam, you and I, Chris. But thank you again from the bottom of my heart for everybody coming out and watching the show. Again, I couldn't do this without you guys. You're awesome. We got some great people coming up next month. So be looking forward to all the shows that are coming up. And I've got a huge surprise. All I can say is I got a huge surprise coming in August for you guys. And it'll be coming to YouTube. So be checking it out. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for letting me know it's a great show. You guys are awesome. Maybe I need to do some more of these as well. So let me know in the comments if you want to see some more sports stuff and things like that. Have a good night. Take care of each other. Love one another.